I'd like to,
Like shows how to help you with
excellent.
that.
So I'd like to hand it over to
Mm.
Rachel Chandler, who's the program coordinator.
Hi,
Rachel,
everyone.
take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Chandler. I'm a Youth Engagement and Empowerment Coordinator. I work with the youth that you will be hearing from today. These youth are a part of a group called the Youth Steering Committee, a group of young adults with disabilities from different states who work on a project centered around healthcare transition. They have created tools and trainings to help youth and families navigate that. I'm so excited to have some of them speak with you today. In this group, the youth have talked about how they wish healthcare was better for people with disabilities. That is the reason why we are here today. I wanted to give the youth an outlet and forum to express their feelings about this. And now I would like to introduce all of them. First, we have Emily from Connecticut, Arif from New York, Sophie from Philadelphia, home of the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, I had to say that because they just won. Arif from New Jersey. Jordan from New Jersey, and Cody from Massachusetts. So these are the youth on the panel today. So welcome everyone. And Nicole, do you want to pull up the PowerPoint, or do you want me to do it?
You can do it. I think it's easier for you to.
Okay, did you give me?
Yes.
Okay, so hold on one sec. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Hold on. Why am I not seeing the sharing option? I'm not seeing. Oh, here we go. Sorry. So hold on one second. Thank. Okay. So we're gonna have, hi everyone, we're gonna have each of the panelists answer the questions that we have, because we thought that everyone has different thoughts on the questions that will be asked. So we wanted to give perspectives from everyone. So we'll get started. Can everyone see this okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks good.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Very, and let us know if you can't. Okay, so the first question is, what specifics do doctors need to know about, hold on, about your disability that are not medically related? And the first panelist up is Emily. So Emily, whenever you're ready.
I would say medical professionals need to know that they shouldn't treat disabled people differently. It is rude and unnecessary. Also, doctors should always talk to the patient and not the caregiver because they are the one that is being seen. Even if the person is not verbal, they deserve to be respected.
I think that those are great points. And I think that that's something we talk a lot about in this group. And that's, another other reasons why we're here today. So thank you, Emily. Next up, we have giving their perspective on this question is Arif. So Arif, whenever you're ready.
Yes. I they need to know, even though I am disabled, I can still understand and and name the medical uh, and name the medical decisions um uh, as about my care. Sometimes they ask to speak with my parents. They don't realize I can make my own decisions.
Yeah, those are really great points. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted the youth be on here today, because they have really great perspectives. As you can see, they have always have something to say. So they're, especially in healthcare when they're getting older and older, they want to be able to take care of their own things, and they can. So I think that those are also really great points. So thank you, Reef. And Sophie, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I would say like I would say like I would want my doctors and other healthcare providers to know how to communicate with someone who communicates directly and like thinks literally, basically like communicates, if you will, in an autistic way, like with autistic traits, because I've met with any number, like a very high number of providers who just have no idea how to communicate with me as an autistic patient because they have no idea how to answer or ask questions directly. They just have no idea. Like it's basically impossible to even have a conversation for me to even have a conversation with them because they have no idea how to communicate with onto an autistic patient.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? I'm sorry.
That was it.
Yeah, and I think communication is key to everything because everybody with a disability is different. Everybody communicates different. So it's really important to listen and, understand how your patient communicates so that you can give them the support they need and take the time to listen to them and figure out how to best serve them. But communication is key to all of that. So, and everyone does that differently, as Emily also alluded to. Um, and next we have Jordan. Jordan, whenever you're ready, and just let me know if you need some support, okay?
Okay, my doctor needs I know take care of myself. How I wait, um
Take your time.
you know I can say this.
It's the first one, Jordan, the first one. The first question in red.
I know my sorry
You're
my
okay. You're doing great. Go
my
ahead.
doctors uh, uh, my doctors need to know take care of myself how I communicate need things I like to do. Such play learn about games and
Mm-hmm.
kind of support I need. I also discuss my swimming exercises I
Mm-hmm.
t- take that I take.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, Jordan. So yeah, Jordan definitely talked about some things that he did, like swimming and video games, things that aren't medically related. So great answer. And last but not least, we have Cody. Go ahead, Cody, whenever you're ready.
Um, what everyone said is great points. I think, it doesn't cost to be patient
I love that point.
with
Exactly right.
us. Especially myself having a speech impediment when I meet new people or I don't see you often. I do talk a little more slow because I like, do they understand me? Do they care? And another point I actually made in a state health care transition meeting this a few days ago is doctors are not your best friend in a sense of they need to know what you're doing this weekend. So, um, I say, be mindful of what you share, non-disability or not related to the appointment, but the best thing I want to drive home is again, it doesn't cost to have patience.
Yeah.
Most doctors want to do their job in and out, but with patience, we avoid misdiagnosis. We avoid the frustration that comes with, well, what did you say? Or worse yet, come back with a adult.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're an adult, but it's a nice way of saying, yeah, I can't understand you, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Like just
but
like shoving you
that's
off.
really it.
Yeah. And I think like another point that it is that I was thinking when Cody and everyone else was talking to, and Cody talked about patience and a lot of the other things that were said. One thing that came to my mind is like trying to get away. I know doctors, have to get to the one appointment, then the next appointment, but trying to spend time with the patient and giving them the time to speak and do all the things that everyone else was talking about, not rushing to the next patient, giving them that space and time to do that because a lot of people with disabilities need that. So, okay, is everybody ready to move on to the next one? We're going to move. Okay, so question 2 is a two-parter question. The first part is, what struggles do you, the person with a disability, or your caregiver have finding a doctor? And then the second part of this question is, what supports do you need while working through healthcare transition? So Emily, to start us off, whenever you're ready.
I have struggles finding good doctors who takes my insurance. I have state insurance, obviously, because I'm disabled. So, doctors who take state insurance are usually low quality in my experience. And then I have the part where doctors don't speak directly to me. They assume that I'm not intelligent because of my speech impediment. So finding a good doctor is like finding a needle in a haystack.
I love that point, and I'm so glad you brought it up. Okay, whenever you're ready, if you have an answer to the next part.
I don't really need help with healthcare transition, to be totally honest. I am a pretty independent person, so I kind of just did the transition myself. And now I actually teach youth with disabilities how to do healthcare transition properly. One of the things I teach them is self-advocacy. I make it a point that they need to be the center of conversations and decisions, and how to advocate for themselves if doctors are not speaking to them.
Yeah, to Emily's point, one of the projects that we do in our healthcare transition youth group is we work with younger adults from 12 to 17. We call them we recruit them, and they're called the Youth Development Initiative, and we do trainings with them. So these older individuals do trainings with younger individuals, and Emily's a part of that, and several of the youth you see here have been a part of that program, the Youth Development Initiative program, where we create these trainings to teach younger individuals about healthcare and healthcare transition. So a lot of the youth have also been a part of that you see here today have also been a part of that project. So thanks, Emily, for bringing that up. So next we have Arif. Arif, whenever you're ready.
Um, so this uh yes. So many doctors are um I can't say this word. Um are um are into are one sec, Rachel. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
take your time. You're okay. You're doing great. Take your time. I don't know where Arif went, but maybe if he left us, we can move on to Sophie. Do you want to give your
I'm
answer?
still
Oh,
here.
Arif is okay. Sorry. Arif, go
Are
ahead whenever you're ready.
are intimidated by my many doctors are intimidated by my disability. Um and sometimes they won't take me as a patient, saying I need someone who specializes in CP.
Yeah. Do you have
That's
any?
one of the struggles I face.
Okay.
So,
Do you have anything else you want to add to that part?
uh,
It's
um,
okay if you don't. You don't have to. You can move on to the next part B.
yes.
Okay. So the second part of that question again was, what support do you need while working through your healthcare transition? So when you were going through, and for everyone who, just to clarify, how healthcare transition is moving from an pediatric doctor to adult healthcare doctor. So what are some things that you had trouble with when doing that transition, or if you're still in that transition and you want to talk about it?
I could I could have used some supports um in finding available available doctors
Okay.
that and pharmacies that can deliver my medications. I would I I I am I am um n- I need help. Uh, would need help um w w of some of their I would need help. I would need some support finding doctors and pharmacies that can deliver. I
Yeah.
am would I need would need help with someone who can advise the best specialist in my area.
Yeah. And when you talk about, the pharmacies delivering medication, transportation is a huge issue for people with the disabilities, so that
Yeah.
pharmacies delivering medication, like uh, to your door is super helpful. Not only, if you have a disability as a youth, but even as an adult person, but even as an older individual. My grandpa's 95 and he doesn't get around so easily. So that is a really,
Yeah.
transportation is a huge thing through all of this. So I just want to bring it up since Arif
Yeah,
brought
that's
up,
a huge,
getting pharmacies,
huge barrier
medication, and
for
things.
us.
So yeah, and I'm sure someone will bring it up in the next, the next things that we talk about as well. So Arif, is that all?
Yes.
Okay. So next we have Sophie. Sophie, whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah, so I would say one of the biggest struggles that I have in finding a provider who's like the right fit for me is, I mean, there's two main things that I look for in a provider, like, and they're both like kind of complicated. So someone who's both knowledgeable about autism and all other aspects of my medical profile, like in a medical sense, like how they impact me medically, and how they all how my autism, my other conditions, other sim like all other parts of my medical profile like interact medically, and then someone who also knows how to communicate with autistic patients, kind of like what I said before, like people who communicate directly or think literally and like think concretely, that sort of thing. Um, so finding someone who both like is knowledgeable about the medical aspect and is able to like with the able knowledge about the interpersonal aspect of, in my case, especially autism. Um, and it can be hard to find providers with both those two things, who have experience with autism and my other conditions, patients with autism and my other conditions, let alone who specialize in um, treating patients with all those conditions. Um, so that's my
Yeah, no, those are great answers. A- and Jordan, whenever you're ready.
My mom did not know have the sorry. My mom did not have a struggle finding me a doctor. The doctor she going to take my uh to take my insurance.
Oh, yeah. So I have to say, like we were doing a prep of this, and Nicole and Jordan brought that up to me, and I was like, I remember Nicole, she was explaining and Jordan was explaining it, and I said, oh my gosh, it was like she was able to find a doctor that took the Medicaid, like Jordan was saying, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like something that you don't find. I was like, you found like the golden ticket because that's something you don't find, and they were able to, have that, and so it's hard to find that, and it's hard to find a good doctor that takes Medicaid. So kudos to Nicole and Jordan and their family for finding that, because that can be hard and very difficult, and that's why we're talking about this today. And so Cody, whenever you're ready, you're up next.
Um, it was last summer where I was trying to find counseling, and I got told my insurance was lost. Oh, I had to um call the insurance company, switch it to a insurance that most everyone takes.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like I've seen the biggest issue is now if your parents of a disabled kid don't mean throw you under the bus, but I think it shows that there's a gap and communication between the parents and their child, or because they're so used to doing all that. So when you gain that independence, that conversation does may not happen, won't say doesn't happen, but another struggle really quickly is finding a doctor that understands disability like I have. My primary care went into my physical last year in my primary care referred me to a neurologist.
Yeah.
Due to my disability, where I only was requested drooling medication, and now it led to a rather uncomfortable situation. Is that, well, how are you going to treat me? Luckily, it was just a physical, but still, it's dangerous when a doctor doesn't know disability and is adamant about referring you to a specialist. And that specialist was I'm not sure why you're here. So not only it's dangerous, but it wastes everyone's time. It takes away resources that someone who needed that specialist more than me. I took this spot due to the lack of education. The primary care doctor had in terms of for me, right now I'm 25. I've been part of this community for 3 years, I believe. But before those 3 years, I did not know much about health care transition, and I'm in college, so it's not due to I didn't understand. It was just never a conversation until I joined the youth steering committee. Now I'm on a youth advisory council
Yeah.
through the Department of Public Health up here in Mass.
Oh, yeah.
And what I've been saying is every high school student takes a health class. And but health care transition is not a conversation where it has to be. Not only in special ed classes, everyone has to go through health care transition.
Yeah.
So to avoid the problem of learning about health care transition when you're 22 years old, fully understanding it at 25. Let's eliminate the problem and incorporate it into curriculum.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't cost to educate our students.
Cody,
Well,
I love those points. Do you want to be the youth engagement and empowerment coordinator instead of me? That was our great points. I love it. Thank you so much. And Jordan, I wanted to say I don't know if I got you to answer or you wanted to answer the second question. I think we might have skipped that one. So I'm sorry. Did you have an answer to this one? What support do you need while working through healthcare transition? While you're working through your healthcare transition? Or I just didn't want to skip over you. I think I forgot to ask you the second part
Oh,
of this question.
okay. Yeah, I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
The support I need is my mom.
Okay.
Making my appointments and talking to me about them. The support from my doctor explains why she is doing my appointments.
Yeah, everybody needs a little support. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next question. So and everybody's doing a great job. So question 3 is tell us 1 or 2 experiences you've had regarding access to accessibility. So Emily, whenever you're ready.
One thing that happened to me that was an example of an accessibility recently is a new doctor that I am going to go to send me paperwork in the mail to fill out. The layers of inaccessibility here is crazy. So in order to get the paperwork, someone has to physically go to my mailbox. I have cerebral palsy, so I can't write with the pen at all. So now I need to dictate to someone what to write and make sure I have it with me when I go to the appointment. And they couldn't email it to me for some reason. Their response was I could come in 10 minutes early and they will help me with the paperwork, which is still inaccessible for me because I have a speech impediment. So it would take way more than 10 minutes to complete the paperwork, One, because new people hardly can understand my speech. And two, because even if I used my communication device, I have to type out my responses, which takes time. I described an example of an accessibility instead of accessibility because I feel like it brings more awareness to really important issues.
Yeah. And to Emily's point, that exact same thing happened to me. I had to go get paperwork for a special that I have to go to, and it was 28 pages that I have to fill out that are not on the computer. So now, just like Emily said, I have to fill out the booklet, have someone help me fill it out. And it's going to be harder than it has to be because of that. So I feel you, Emily. Happened to me. But thank you for that answer. It was great. Arif, you're next whenever you're ready.
Yes. Yeah. One uh one experience that I had is finding a pharmacy that can compound my medications and then delivering it to me. Because as you may know, people with disabilities have different ways they can take the medications. So that was a big challenge. And also accessibility. Like I went to a pharmacy once, for some kind of shot that I needed to get. And I called them before I went there, and when we got there, they said, "Oh, we don't have, we don't have, um, we ran out and we don't have anymore." So transportation is another accessibility, like Rachel mentioned, because we have to wait and then we have to wait for the ride to come, and sometimes they don't even show up, which results in me missing my medical appointments.
Yeah. Or sometimes they're late and you don't get, or they
Yeah,
don't show up, which is even worse. So,
yeah.
yes. Um, so yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add?
And no, that's all.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. So next we have Sophie. Go ahead, Sophie, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so one or two experiences. I can give an example of a negative experience that I've had. One example of the type of negative experiences that I've had, and an example of a the type of positive experiences. So with providers and healthcare providers. So negative example, kind of like similar to what I've said before, like I've met with so many doctors and like other healthcare providers over the years who just have no idea how to communicate with someone who communicates directly. They have no idea how to even have a conversation with me. Um, or I guess they have no idea how to communicate directly. They have no idea how to communicate, like how to ask or answer questions with me as like as with someone who's talking as someone who communicates directly in an autistic way, if you will, if that's like um and or like doctors or other providers who just have no idea. Um, yeah, that's what I can say. And then the positive example is the opposite of that, like doctors or other providers who are not only completely comfortable and completely like very good at communicating directly with like or communicating with autistic patients, but also very completely knowledgeable about autism and in my case the other conditions that I have and like symptoms and stuff. Um, and they're also very respectful and accepting and welcoming of me as a neurodivergent person and yeah, two completely different experiences. So those are my examples.
Yeah, thanks, Sophie, for sharing. Really, I think those are great examples, and I love how you are sharing specifically about your disability and going in depth about it, because I think that people need to hear all that. For those that don't know that information, doctors and people that are here, people that can bring that information back to their offices and move forward with it. So thank you. Next we have Jordan. Jordan, whenever you're ready.
For the place we go, my mom knows how they are accessible and tell me if it is a new place. My mom will find a way to get me the accessible support I need.
Accessibility looks different for everyone. And some people need help with accessing stuff, like just like Jordan said, I need a caregiver as well to help me get to where I need to go. So yeah, sometimes you need that extra support. And that's great to have that. Cody, whenever you're ready.
My experience is similar to Emily's, where that same physical as I talked about a few minutes ago, given a few pages to fill out, told them, or I can't wait. Oh, the nurse will help you. Guess what? Now they did the primary care that will take it home. Has someone help you bring it back? Mind you, my doctor's office is at 40 minutes away. So bringing it back requires a ride. It requires gas.
Yep.
And if I'm male, need money for a stamp.
Yep.
We are in 2025. There's no reason that doctors' offices cannot be inclusive and have a paper copy and then a digital copy. If they don't, it's so easy to fax it, use a DocuSign
Yep.
or one of those easy platforms to have patients fill out. So, that's my experience because I shared about the doctor not understanding my disability earlier. So yeah.
Yeah. And before we move on to the next question, I just wanted to bring up some key themes that keep coming up. So we have communication, we have transportation is a key theme. We have doctors knowing about someone's disability and the specifics about that and giving people and understanding all of that. So those are some of the key themes that keep coming up in this conversation. So I just wanted to point some of those out because I think that they're really important to keep driving home. So, but thank you, Cody. Really appreciate that. And again, everyone's doing such a great job. So we're going to move on to the question 4. And question 4 is, what type of advocacy have you been involved with? And I know some of you mentioned some of this already, but so Emily, whenever you're ready.
I have been a professional disability advocate for over a decade, so I have been involved in so many things. I sit on a state council for development and disabilities in Connecticut. I'm a part of the youth steering committee, obviously. I serve on national boards for disability advocacy. I have won awards, and I have my own disability advocacy business, which I can put the link to my website in the chat. So I am pretty well known in the disability advocacy community. But main expertise is disability advocacy in healthcare settings.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, Emily does have her own advocacy um business because when I text her, her thing comes up on my screen. So yeah, that's really cool. Everyone here does a lot of stuff, so you'll hear a lot. But next, to answer that question is Arif. Arif, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yes, I have been involved in a lot of advocacy through the years, mostly focusing on my education and healthcare. I fought for, to get myself placed in compensatory services due to the pandemic. I fought for restoring for restore to restore my therapy services and multiple times when they discontinued my insurance, and I contacted the politicians politicians and local officials to help me what get what I need. Yeah.
Yes. Arif, is that all? Or you have more?
That's all.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off. No, as Arif pointed out, self-advocacy is huge. Self-advocacy is, first, sometimes, first and foremost before you do advocacy for others. Well, that is just as important, but self-advocacy for yourself is sometimes um first and most important before you can help others. But both are equally important. So thank you, Ari, for pointing that out. That's great. And next we have Sophie. Sophie, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so for me, in the past, I've been involved with a variety of different types of advocacy over the course of my entire life, but most recently, meaning the past like 6 years or so, I've been focusing on disability advocacy, and I've focused on neurodivergent advocacy for most of that time. Um, well, a lot of that was in college, not all of it, but a lot of it was in college, where the two main things I did for disability advocacy in college were number one, I led um, a group of a bunch of my peers, a bunch of fellow classmates, in organizing a campaign to get our schools to develop a academic program in disability studies, and we had a petition. We wrote a petition. We campaigned. We got, I think, over 430 something signatures, mostly from current students at the time. And I made a website, I made a PowerPoint, or like a presentation of like showcasing the minor campaign, all this stuff. And we sent in the whole campaign. We sent in all the materials, the petition, the website, the presentation, all of that to the faculty committee and like years ago. And apparently like it took them a long time to look it over, but they said like almost all of the faculty committee members are in support except for one person, but everyone else is in support except for that one person. And they said they would need they would need to find full-time faculty who can teach disability studies courses like long term, not just like for a few semesters. But yeah, so it's still it's yeah, so hopefully that gets like comes to fruition some sooner rather than later. Um, yeah, and then the second biggest thing that I did for disability advocacy in college was I restarted and ran and served as president and co-founder of a disability advocacy and neurodivergent community and support club, student club on campus called Enable. And we held like all sorts of like affinity and support group events, kind of like support and like commiserating communal support type events for students, including like we met every week and we just discussed the highs and lows and neutrals and all sorts of stuff of being neurodivergent and disabled students um at our school, which is Bryn Mawr College. And then we also had like stuff like fidget toy events where we would buy like huge amounts of fidget toys and then just like play with them, stay them all together, and then we would let the students take the fidget toys with them. Those were like during like finals week and stuff. And then we also had like stuff like career panels with neurodivergent alumni.
That's really cool. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, and so those are the two main things. And then sort of post-college, I've been involved with obviously the YSC, Youth Steering Committee of the Center for Transition to Adult Healthcare for Youth with Disabilities since 2022. So that wasn't all post-college. I graduated in 2023. So that was, but you know, obviously I'm still involved with the committee. And I've also started doing similar work as similar to what I do for the committee with a part of the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, like a part of that department. So, but that's like more recent. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jordan, whenever you're ready.
I I am involved in Spain Youth Advisory, Spain Youth Chat, and Healthcare Transition Advisory Group. I also advocate for myself at work, ask for support I may need to help with my job. I have been at my job for 3 years. I enjoy what I do. Everyone has my job help, helping me with I when I need it or when I act act, act wait, advocacy advocacy helps me to feel good, and I'm happy helping me develop to the person I am today.
I love that answer. And um and thank you, Jordan. Great answer and great job. Cody, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, similar again to Emily. I do a lot
Yeah, Cody does do a lot.
both statewide and national. I also present statewide and national. Like in May, I am headed to Minneapolis course to present about youth voices and youth serving organizations. But I'm the vice chair of the Massachusetts Developmental Disabilities Council. I'm a change maker for a national organization that brings me to DC at least once a year. I go down for many organizations, but that's just a few. Yeah, I do that because it's not just the disability population that struggle.
Yeah.
There's other marginalized populations. So if I can bring my perspectives to a wide range of things, I do that. I've also been nationally recognized at the National Association of Developmental Disability Councils last year in DC. So yeah, I am pretty busy on top of being a bachelor's student.
Yeah. Cody, do you want to tell everyone what you're in school for since you brought it up? Did you?
My major is political science.
Okay, cool. So as you can see, everyone here has done so much advocacy work. It's amazing. But as you can also see, there's people that do like big things for advocacy and small things. Each are just as important as the other. And also, many of them mentioned how self-advocacy is important. So all of that is so important. And I also wanted to tell you guys that you've been getting a lot of shout outs in the chat. So be sure to check that out because it's pretty awesome. So thank you everyone in the audience for shouting out the amazing youth we have here. So, and I'm gonna ask Gina and Nicole if they want me to move on to the next question because I'm not sure if we're gonna wait